Alright, hello everybody, welcome to the second season of, I'm calling this Catfish Sim Sports League right now, but yeah, we're still looking for a better name than that because I don't think that's that great. But this is the second season of our NASCAR random stats, random cars, crazy races, 110% AI. Our first champion was David Reagan in the 6 car, and it was pretty cool first season. Did make some changes this season, but let's go ahead and go and start this race. So the second season, we got reduced race length, and I also increased the pit stop frequency from 2 to 3 times. So hopefully we still see pit stops, but the races don't drag on too much. First race this season is at Coca-Cola Super Speedway. It's a fictional track that came with the game 3 miles long. It's going to probably be a lot like a restrictor plate race, but without restrictor plates. So big packs of cars, really high speeds. I don't know that we'll have the wrecks that we had at the short tracks here. We might have, what you normally get at super speedways, with big crashes to take up half the field, and then everybody's good after that. But let's see. We have a whole new roster of 46 cars. I don't think there are any people in this season that were in the previous season. There might be. It's kind of hard to tell when you have 1,000 cars. So we skip qualifying, and let's take a look at the grid. Dave Blaney on the pole, 93. And it's hard to tell who's good here. We'll find out who's fast throughout the season. Of course, each car has a different set of stats that are randomized to each of the 4 races in the season. So I guess you never know. We got a full field for this race, so let's.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Ted's Chinese Takeout. I think that's a fictional car. I've never heard of a Ted's Chinese Takeout. If you have, leave a comment. Yeah, so we got some new cars, which is kind of cool. And I just noticed something kind of crazy. At least I think I did. Let me go to Chase View. Go Chase View on the pace car, because I think I saw that. Yes, President Barack Obama is both driving and the passenger in the pace car. That's pretty interesting. Alright, so I think I'm going to start this race with the camera on a couple rows back. Let's watch from Wally Dallenbach's view here. I'm going to go to normal chase view. This is my first foray using Open Broadcaster, so hopefully the audio is coming through okay. Hopefully it's decent presentation. I'll try to get better with it. I'm trying to get used to using it. Kind of got tired of using the video's shadow play. A lot of problems with the microphone and just not a whole lot of configuration options. Doesn't make for an easy user experience. So. Here we go, green flag. Coca-Cola. Yeah, the speeds are going to be ridiculous. Keep an eye on them up here. I think you're looking at over 200 easily. They're still in 3rd gear at 180. So that's kind of crazy. 190 in the turns. Yeah, the banking here is ridiculous. You know, this car on the left here, Sterling Marlin, I think was in last season. I think he won. So it looks clean so far. Let's go to TV view. Wow, that's a lot of cars. Look like they're going 3 and 4 wide maybe back there. Let's go ahead and take a look further back. Looks like Dave Blaney's holding on to the lead. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s in this season. 2:05 in the turns. It looks like he's moving up. Dale Jr. is always really good at these super speedways. They do have some cars moving back. Struggling a little bit, but yeah, remaining clean so far. Just cycling through to look at some of the new paint schemes for this season. So I don't know if this will be a fuel mileage race or come down to pit stops, but it looks like everybody's racing clean. Clean start to the season. Here's our race at the front. Brett Bodine getting caught out in the draft there. And see who all works together. Oop. John Andretti making a move. He'll probably take over second. Does seem like it might be a one groove type of thing. I don't know that you can really sustain anything on the high side on the turns, even with the high banking. It's all Dave Blaney so far here. And yeah, I don't see anything back there indicating that anybody's having some major trouble. It does say that the one car is 16 seconds back. Let's go and take a look and see what's going on with that car real quick. He's all the way by himself. Maybe he's just lost a cylinder or something. Yeah, speed is way down, 180. Everybody else is doing 200, although they're in the draft. Maybe he had a little trouble. I think we have a pack that's kind of far back behind the others. So it could be a lap cars eventually become an issue. You can see up here they're actually starting to spread out a little bit. So yeah, it's one of the cleaner races that we've ever seen here. We do have 4 new tracks this season. No repeats from last year. I'm not going to give them away because I think that's kind of fun to see it every week to see what track turns up. But ooh, okay, so we got some pit stops already, 5 laps in. So the new rule of 3 times frequency pit stops. We have a big group of cars coming in for fuel, I'm guessing. I mean, I guess if you're going 200 miles an hour all the way around the track, you're burning fuel like crazy. And, you know, some cars might have better fuel mileage than others. That's why I want a pace car here. Let's go to the leader. Most of the leaders have stayed out. It seems like these 4 cars here are your front runners. And Blaney has led every lap to my knowledge. And now he's coming in, so this whole group of cars is coming in for pit stop. So yeah, the pit stops are actually pretty high frequency, so that should change the makeup of this race a lot. Let's see, everybody has come in, nobody has not come in yet. So Blaney still retains the lead despite pitting here. I'm just going to keep it on him through the pit stops, and we'll see if anybody can beat him out. Is anybody going to take tires, or is it just fuel? No, I see people taking tires. He's taking tires. So it does seem pretty high. Lap 7 coming in to take tires. And Brett Bodine's going to come out first. Ooh, this is a slow stop. Brett Bodine had an unbelievable stop compared to everybody else in the leaders here. They're going to have to make it up on the track. Now he's got the lead. He watches the people that are out on the track already to see if they can catch up. Oh, and we got a problem back there. I think that's the 77. Yeah, we got a big wreck. So we had some issues with people merging coming out of the pits. The 10 cars involved. He was very fast. He's actually flipping over. So the clean race has ended. I see the 01 back here is messed up. Let's see what happened. Let's go do a rewind. We got time to do some rewind. Find out what happened here. So yeah, merging. He kind of got on the banking and launched himself. And then you just had collisions galore here. And Dave Blaney got hit. He led every lap at the beginning of this race. And yeah, this really slowed down a lot of people. Look at this. Some of these cars aren't damaged, but just losing so much time on this track. Well, you have other people going 200 miles an hour. And Lake Speed just did a little hop there. So yeah, there's some weird stuff going on with the banking. Looks like the 18 car's probably out. Let's go back to the race live. Is really, let's see, who's winning now? So the 11 car is winning now. We had a great pit stop, and I mean that's really important that he had that because what happened is he got out in front of all that mess. He does not seem to be the fastest car though, so he's getting freight trained by a couple cars. So the 20 takes the lead, but it looks like the 29 of Kevin Harvick may take that from him, although we have a good race up here. Oh, and we have a lap car. We have that really slow one car here, so how's everybody going to make it through that? I think that the low line here is really going to have an advantage. Brett Bodine tucks in underneath. Here's your leader, Kevin Harvick. Then we had that one big wreck. It really spread out the field, I think, a little bit. Our race standings up here on the right don't update until they cross the line, but the 29 car is our leader. Yeah, looks like he's pulling away a little bit. So let's take a look at the fastest laps. This is the 9 car is the fastest. So you can see the 9 car out there in front. That was, oh no, that's a different spam car. We got 2 spam cars in the field. It's a lot of spam. But then we had cars just sitting there. What was going on there? Talk about crazy dangerous. What happened? So the 10 car had a moment. And he did. He hit the 9 car that was having some issues. And then he got caught up in the banking. And then the 9 car gives him a little tap again, just for giggles there. So the 9 car is actually the fastest car as far as lap time in the race, and he just seems crazy. Going back to the lead here, still Kevin Harvick. And I'm guessing we're going to have pit stops again in like 3 laps. And if it was any indication, the 11 car seems to have a very fast pit crew. So it'll be interesting to see if the 11 car can continue to gain the time in the pits. And of course we had merging issues with some cars pitting the first time around, so we might see some wrecks again after the pit stops. to see if any of the cars that had issues early on can make up the time. You see the 93 here in 17th, the 37 and 19th. Those were two very fast cars that were at the front before the pit stops. Kevin Harvick's holding his own. I haven't seen any attempt of a pass from the 11 yet. And I think they're coming in. But Kenseth, oh, well, we have some slowdowns. Yeah. Let's take a look at it. You know, slowing down from 200 miles an hour to current speed limit here, 55. That's insane. Insanely dangerous. Let's go take a look at the 11. It was a very fast pit crew, it seems. Or at least he had at least one fast pit stop. The 17 decided to stay out. We'll see how this cycles around. Hooters. You know, I've never actually been to a Hooters. And here comes the 29. So, not a great stop again. It was just a one hit wonder there for the 11 on the pit stop. We got a car coming. I don't know if that car's a lead lapper though. And yeah, you see it. They try to merge and they get a little bit over the line. You see him kind of feathering the throttle. I mean, the cars are kind of set up for these really high bank turns, and so then they're trying to get around there. They don't have as much grip on the flat area. So he's way out in front. Let's take a look at the 17. Who did not pit for the rest of them. He's in the pits now. We'll see how this cycles. See, I don't know if these cars right here are lead lappers. So this season, pit stops are going to be even more important than they were previous season. And right now, I'm not sure who the leader is, so I'm going to keep it on the 17. I kind of lost track of who. Oh, there's the 29, so I think the 29 just took the lead there. He's got a pretty decent lead, too. We know that he got a way better pit stop than the 11. And I think the 38 behind him is in second. But he's kind of in no man's land here with the draft. And I think we might see people get hooked up. Is it Dale Earnhardt Jr. behind the 38? Possibly in third if things cycle the way I think, although Kevin Harvick's behind somebody right now. We'll see when he crosses the line. Yes, Kevin Harvick is the leader. And yeah, look at these two catching up real quick. And Elliott Sadler going to go for the lead. At least I think that's Elliott Sadler. It is. I know my people. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to just tuck in here. So these are your three front runners. Kenseth is somewhere back there in the 17, along with the 11. Ooh, that was close. Working around some of these lap cars. Yeah, lap cars are definitely a factor in this race. And Junior decided to tuck in under that car for a second. And Harvick maybe looking for second. We have passed the halfway mark. It'll be interesting to see how the pit stops hit on lap 26. If you know they're coming in for tires and fuel. It's hard to tell. You know if it's a fuel mileage thing or maybe just these high speeds on these turns. They really need tires every 7 laps. Apparently Goodyear doesn't make them like they used to. These melt like butter. And it looks like this pack is actually putting some distance on the second pack from what I've seen from the time here. So these three cars are really cruising. Fastest lap time is still the 9. Where is the 9 car? He had some major problems. Is he even in the race? He still is 36th. Looks like the 37 had an accident. He's out. That car was very fast at the beginning of the race. Harvick trying to look underneath Junior there, but yeah, with three cars, I think the only way they're going to get by Elliott Sadler is if they work together. Because Elliott Sadler is actually looking very fast now. And Junior's coming in, lap 17. He might be on a slightly different sequence. It'll be interesting to see, because he'll come out and he'll have nobody to, what they call in NASCAR, having a dancing partner. Somebody that you can draft with and you can in the pits. And you saw that they caught up to Harvick very fast because he did not have a dancing partner. There's Junior coming out of the pits now. And he does look like he'll have some cars, maybe lap cars, but if they're slower than him, the 27 actually had a great stop, it looks like. I do wonder if some cars are taking 2 tires. It's hard to tell watching this. But that might explain the difference in that pit stops. Looks like Harvick came in and left Elliott Sadler out there by himself. That could really impact how they come out. So we'll see where Harvick comes out in relation to Junior. Where's Junior on track? Looks like he's still, it's turn 4. He's at full speed though. Back to Harvick. Just exiting the pits, so. Oh, and he had a little problem. He did that little wheel hop. He did it again. And that's not going to be good for your tires, by the way. He's continuing to do it. He's almost certainly lost some time. He might even have suffered damage to his tires. You see that car smoke every time it lands. We don't know if that kind of thing happened to Junior. Where is leader Elliott Sadler? He's getting tires right now. The 17 has retained the lead. One thing I have noticed with the 17 is he's going longer than anybody else on these pit stops. It's lap 20. He might be able to do it on one more stop after this, but I'm not sure about Junior. Junior and Harvick may have stopped too early. And 17 has not pitted yet, or he has. If he has, I don't know, because it says that Elliott Sadler's 3 seconds back. That can't be right. I think it's when he crossed the line last. Alright, going back to Elliott Sadler, and Junior just passed him, so. And we have the 11 car in the mix again. Did the 11 car have another outstanding pit stop to get him back in it? I think he must have. And look out for the 93 car that's making a run back. Got the pole and led a lot of laps early on. He may have the fastest car in the race, and that doesn't make a big deal. Although he's just coming out of the pits now, so. Right now it still says the 17s are leader, but I'm actually thinking Harvick is. And I don't know how big of a lead he has, but I'm not sure about him making it on one more stop. Take a look at the gaps here. So we got Harvick here. Junior's kind of stuck in this pack along with the 11 car. And I think that's your top 3. I don't know what happened to Elliott Sadler on the stop. There he is. He's back there. So he didn't have as good of a stop as Harvick. Although he kind of did some laps afterwards when he was by himself. That probably hurt. So it's the 11 in second now, and he's actually pulling away from that group of cars. We got 3 lap cars in between them. Here's your leader, and back here second place in the 11. Let's go to rear chase. We have our top 4 kind of mixed in with lap cars here. With I think 5 laps to go. Mostly clean race. We have some weird incidents where people coming out of the pits are kind of getting onto this banking and having a little trouble with. Oh, look at that. This really slow lap car is going to break up the draft here. That really helped Elliott Sadler. And Carvick is coming in, so it's lap 22. I'm really curious if the 17 can make it all the way on fuel. He's not necessarily the fastest car by any means, but he has got the best fuel mileage. Because Elliott Sadler retakes the lead. I think Elliott Sadler pitted maybe 2 laps after Harvick. Interesting that Harvick came in. I'm guessing that might have something to do with the issue. We saw him coming out of the pits, and he might have really ruined his tires. Because he pitted even earlier than Junior now. Junior pitted, I think, a lap before him on the previous cycle. Junior's still out there. You're now in second. It's actually been a good race. A lot of lead changes. A lot of the top cars. Oh, there we go. So again, they leave Elliott Sadler out here by himself. And I think that hurts him every single cycle. I think he goes at least a lap or 2 later. We only got 3 laps to go, guys. Can Matt Kenseth make it? I'm really curious. I think this is something to watch. We also have the 27 car. Oh, he's in the pits. So, yeah, Matt Kenseth, I think, is the only one who may be able to stretch this. At the very least, he would only need to come in and take the splash and dash. It would seem odd for him to take fuel. Let's see if Elliott Sadler comes in. Or if he goes another lap. Honestly, I'd rather come in earlier rather than later if I gotta come in. He is not coming in. So this is the... He's just starting the 25th lap. So if he comes in, it would be at the tail end before he would get the white flag in the pits. If he comes in. We do have some smoke, so that's the other thing is when these guys pit, they seem to come out and have a little bit of issues getting back onto the track. Elliott Sadler is not even one of the top 10 fastest cars. In fact, most of the cars we've been seeing, Kenseth is 5th fastest. He's passing a car on the outside here. Does it mean he will not come in? He is not coming in. He's going to go the distance. So Elliott Sadler is not pitting. White flag. And he ran up front, pretty much most of the race. It's 3/4 of the race. I'm not sure where he was at the beginning of the race. But it didn't seem like he was one of the faster cars at all. Elliott Sadler is 16th fastest. Although there's not a whole lot of difference in these times. We got 152. Got 152 flat, so about 6 seconds back. But he's kind of running by himself. But it doesn't matter when everybody else had to make another pit stop. And he's got a half a lap to go. Unless he ducks into the pits, on the final turn, which, I wouldn't put it past this game to do that. But he's not going to do it. He's just going to win. It's one less pit stop. Did the 17 also come in? Let's take a look as he takes the checkered flag and wins the first race of the season. The 17 is not appear to be in the pits either, so another car that had a really good strategy. Understood that it was a fuel mileage game and to extend your pit stops. And he takes second. quite far behind, 15 seconds. Also, is that the 93? It's hard to tell who the 93 who started on pole is going to recover and take third, and there's Junior behind him taking fourth. Junior with a good run all day. I don't know that he led any laps. That's a good finish. Brett Bedine had a good finish. I think this is one of the few cars that was at the front at the beginning that made it to the end. So Elliott Sadler takes the first race of the season. And we have most of the cars on for a lap down there. I'm not sure what happened to the 19th. Maybe ran out of fuel. The 19 car here. Yeah, but I think, just pit stops. It really came down to pit stops, and that issue at the beginning with the car getting out of the pits really shook up the field early on that first cycle. Some of the top cars, some of the cars that were fast at the very beginning and leading, did not end up doing well, ended up having a retirement. Alright, so we'll see you for the second race, which is going to be Phoenix. And I think that's going to be a pretty fun one. I'm not sure. I think that this is the old style. I don't think this is the newer version with the higher banking, which I do have. So I think this is sort of the flatter track, but I think it's still going to be a pretty fun race at a mile in length. So I'll see you next week for that race, and until then, see you later.